All right, pre-show shenanigans. Yesterday, I had my classic 6 month dental checkup, little dentist appointment, impromptu dentist appointment, very low key. We were on the phone 2 days ago, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta take this call real quick." My dentist, I it wasn't technically a booty call, but I think I was booty called by my dentist, and my
They
dentist was just
really
like,
wanted
"Oh
to
yeah,
see those
Grant."
molars.
Oh, hey. Oh, I may or may not need to go real quick to get the door, but we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll be okay. But while I was at the dentist, I kind of got booty called for a last second appointment, and I go in, and the kind of like front desk receptionist person, I didn't know this, but she was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs lanyard. Uh, I didn't make any comment at first. I didn't feel the need to make a comment. This woman didn't necessarily strike me as a Kansas City fan trying to shit talk me as a Chargers fan. But I noticed the Kansas City Chiefs lanyard, and then something came across her desk that brought up football, and I guess like I was waiting to do my appointment. And I was just kind of talking to her, and she's kind of brought up the Chiefs and football, and she's a bit of an older lady. I'm not trying to start a fight or anything, but um I don't think I've ever been more mad in my life listening to this woman talk about Patrick Mahomes, how great he is, and I did not disclose, so I'm a Chargers fan. Okay. I gotta get the door real quick. Sorry, everybody. Quick pause. My apologies, everybody, for the interruption. I may or may not have had to go open the door for my brother who's back from another Cleveland business trip. Didn't meet Nico Collins and the Texans this time, but
I
still a
mean,
trip out to
what about the
Ohio.
Giants? I mean, they did beat. Oh no, that was in New York, wasn't it?
I think.
Yeah, it was in New York. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, and anyway, I don't think my brother wants to be hanging around the Cleveland Browns. You don't want to be around a bunch of losers. That's not how you want to grow as a person. But I'm at the dentist's office. I noticed the front desk receptionist has the Chiefs lanyard on. Something about football gets brought up. She starts bringing up Kansas City, starts bringing up Patrick Mahomes, and she was specifically saying like, yeah, I overheard recently my husband was telling me, yeah, like we could be the first team ever to three-peat in NFL history. And when she said that, I almost broke down. I was like, oh my God. I'm not even
Just
safe from
tears on the
Patrick Mahomes at
ground.
my dentist. Like the dentist is already like, hey, I've got chipped teeth. I gotta do so many X-rays all the time when I go there. I already fear the dentist. Just sitting there, just about to like choke and pass out, gagging while they do the X-rays with the shit in your mouth. Uh, but now I have to also deal with the Chiefs fan at the dentist.
At
If you
least she
didn't think the
wasn't
dentist
your
could get
like
any worse,
nurse.
yeah, yeah. No, she's like checking my vitals. It's like, yeah,
She
heart rate, blood
intentionally
pressure up. That makes sense. You're a Chargers fan.
intentionally gives you a red and yellow like goop to do the X-ray with or whatever.
Yeah, no, I was just like the dentist. If you thought it couldn't get worse, just imagine. Not. Well, if my literal dentist was a Chiefs fan, I'd have to
Gotta go somewhere
change.
else.
I'd
Gotta go
have
somewhere
to
else.
switch. I
Yeah.
could not do that. And it's like it's honestly impressive. I've had the same dentist for as long as I can remember. The fact is, I've gone this long without realizing that she was a Chiefs fan. She's been working there for forever. So the fact it's taken me this long to even notice that, uh, I I I guess that's an overall W for my mental health. Uh, but yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. Next time they call up for a checkup, I keep in mind my schedule routine 6 months from now will be around March, right after the Super Bowl. I cannot go into that office and face the front desk receptionist if the Chiefs three-peat. I can't. I can't.
That will be
It'll be fresh in my mind. I don't even know if I can.
Tune back in.
Everett, the start of baseball
now.
season and March Madness might just be ruined for me because it'll be after a Chiefs 3-peat, and I'll just be like, I don't even want to do March Madness this year.
It will be a solo Everett episode that
no, yeah, if okay, actually I can promise you this. I can promise you this, Waterboy people. If the Chiefs 3-peat, I will participate in that Monday episode. But you can cross me off for Wednesday. I will need one show break. I will give you the live show reaction, tragic breakdown, fan crying that you guys all love, you sickos, absolute sickos, liking to punch me when I'm down. But yeah, that one, that's going to be tough.
It might be a week.
We may need to get it. We may need to get like Shay and Quan back on. You can have a guest episode. I'll be out.
Out of the office.
I think that's probably our best idea.
we have a step in.
Actually, no. Shay would be perfect because Broncos fan. He can also
relate. Yeah, but then you have to be on it because you have to wallow in both of your own self pity.
If we can get Shay for that,
and Sam's a Raiders fan. Get Sam too.
Oh, actually.
Get all three of these for one episode.
We haven't even considered Sam. I think would be a great guest. If you're listening right now, Sam, I want you on the Waterboy Pod. But yeah, that's the pre-show. Everett, you've never had like a Packer fan for a dentist or a doctor or
I feel like
that's
anything. Much more likely to have happened than a Chiefs fan in LA. A Packers fan in Minnesota. Way more likely. I haven't gotten to the stage where I've asked because I think it's well enough respected.
And they would hide that. Even if you asked, they probably wouldn't tell you.
Well, no, some Packers fans are very prideful.
Loud.
And they will display the fact they're Packers fans. There's a lot of those in Minnesota, but I think in a dental setting, maybe not. Or medical setting, maybe not. They might happen in their office, but I'm not in there. So I don't know.
Okay. I understand. But yeah, I'm just saying like if you and your doctor are rival fan bases, it's quite awkward. I now fear the dentist for the Chiefs also. Patrick, when I think of my teeth, I think of Mahomes.
Who knows? Maybe Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will show up there one day and that'll be it.
I didn't know, but if I notice that dentist office starts playing Taylor Swift moving forward, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to have a big problem. We haven't gotten to that stage
Grant
yet.
versus the Swifties already happened in an episode a while ago, but
rule number 1 and rule number 2 of Twitter: do not fight the Swifties, and never, ever, ever even think about fighting the BTS stan army. Don't even think about it.
My favorite thing. Last thing. My favorite thing though is when somebody would be like, "Oh, behind the scenes of this," and they'd be like, "Why are you using our band's hashtag for this?" I'm like, "It's behind the scenes for the new Batman movie. What the fuck are we talking about?"
I genuinely believe the BTS stan community, it's them, it's the Taylor Swift Swifties, and then it's the Beehive, the Beyonce Beehive. You do not mess with the Beehive. You do not mess with the Beehive.
Recently, but
they've piped down slightly, but like, I mean, low key Beyonce. If you want to get some media stir going up, like, go after Swift. Beyonce. I believe if there is, Rihanna would be the one person, the one singer. Female singer in the industry that may have a fandom that could take down the Swifties. I'd say not right now, but I would say Rihanna. I don't know what her fans are called.
Well, it's also whatever the
they have
female
the potential.
Singer, it's whatever the female singer of the month really is. If it's I guess right now you either have Tate McRae or Chapel Rock. We're getting into a whole different debate. We need to move on.
I will just say though, the Swifties are so powerful that they're now breaking down film. Have you seen this? They are breaking down film. I'm like, wow, they are truly dedicated. Like, if any of you know any major Swifties, and if they have asked you a question about like, Why is Mahomes not hitting Travis Kelce on this stick route in 2nd and 7? They're in cover 3. He's wide open. Like, if they get to that stage, we're done. We're done here, folks. The Swifties can do anything.
Just tell them Taylor Swift involves, and they'll go. Yeah, they'll do whatever they have to.
What a pre-show, but we got a lot to talk about today, especially with NIL. So without further ado, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 260. And college football is a very big NIL problem. We also have a ton of major college football games and NFL games to break down. Wasn't the greatest week for me in terms of picks. But we made this clear to the Waterboy faithful. Start of the year, you go with Everett. You don't go with me. As the year progresses, we'll at some point, I can't give you an exact week, but at some point the tables will
because
tilt.
We did start off tied in week 2, our actual week 1. So I mean, tables have turned a little bit.
True, but after this second week, oh my God, it's not even comparable. We're back to the standard normal Waterboy picks right now for what you would expect.
I'm a little below my average at this point in time still.
Fair, yeah. I mean, week 1 was brutal. Week 1 was brutal. Also,
week 2, but yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think last week with Raiders losing to Panthers, Niners losing to Rams, Browns losing to Giants, and Bucks losing to Broncos, all survivor pools are officially gone. They're all so dead. If there's anyone alive in a survivor pool right now, you know your stuff.
If they did, they had to have taken the Broncos or the Panthers last week. That's the only way. That's the only way.
And a Seahawks early on against the Panthers or maybe like this week, Seahawks Dolphins. They would have picked them, or last week.
Yeah, I was going to say Seahawks win the Lions this week, Grant, but
no, but last week. Survivor Pool's gone, dead, absolutely dusted. But Everett, I think we got to start off with college football here, just because of the magnitude.
Yeah.
So it all started off. Late 2 nights ago, the starting quarterback for the UNLV Rebels announced that he will redshirt for the rest of the season, sit out, and enter the transfer portal. Now, real quick, UNLV, they are currently, I believe, 3-0 or 4-0.
3-0.
But UNLV, this is the first time they've started off 3-0 since 1984. Okay, it has been 40 years since UNLV has had this start.
And a consensus G5 favorite for the playoffs right now as well.
Yeah, right now, I believe, according to sportsbooks, they will not anymore. But before this announcement, they were actually ahead of Boise State to win the Mountain West, I believe.
Yeah.
Boise, not anymore.
Boise is ranked, but it was a toss up, and a lot more people liked UNLV because UNLV was undefeated.
Yeah. But anyway, UNLV, very hot start. They did have a good chance of making the playoff, or at least how it currently stands. And their starting quarterback will redshirt the rest of the year, enter the transfer.
And they're starting running back too, by the way.
Well, I thought it's the 3rd string running back.
Oh, I thought it said starting.
The running back, they also have a running back who did the same thing a couple hours later. And we'll get to Bear Alexander in a second, but I want to stay on this UNLV topic first. From the quarterback side, and I believe it's either his agent who said this or his dad or someone in his family.
His dad.
According to the quarterback side, they were promised, I believe, $100K in NIL from UNLV. And according to the parents or the agent, his side, they say that the quarterback was not paid that $100K, or there were no signs that UNLV would honor that verbal agreement and give them the $100K. It's also important to note it was a verbal agreement. There was no official contract ever signed.
Sometimes verbal agreements can be an official contract, but not in this situation.
There was no official in writing saying we will give you this $100K. There was nothing saying if you're the starter, you'll get $100K. There was no contract in place. And in that sense, we'll just stay on this fact. If that's the case, the player had a verbal contract that wasn't held up on his end. or on their UNLV's end, and he didn't sign a contract, then I can understand the players being upset slightly, but like also like kind of to get that down pen and paper. Like I can kind of go both ways on that sense. And that's assuming UNLV did not actually pay him. But what also came out, according to UNLV, they claimed they did pay him that money, or they were paying him adjusted on the course to getting 100K or whatever that 4 games worth of season. Maybe they gave him 33K or 25K for now. But according to UNLV, they were paying him and he was on track to get his 100K. If that's the case and the quarterback left and he was getting paid, then that dude's an absolute scumbag. And
I will say there were reports of teams enticing him to portal by giving him more money.
So that's what I'm hearing.
I'm pretty sure he's a grad transfer, right? So which means his eligibility is limited. Not entirely
sure.
Let's just assume that it's the case. His eligibility is limited, and he's redshirting to get that last chance to get money, which would be next year. And it's because, he's saying all this stuff, but also he's been getting these teams being like, hey, if you hit the portal, we'll give you more money. He then obviously has to redshirt because he needs to be able to go somewhere in the next season to play. So then that would be him making up some shit about UNLV to have an excuse to redshirt, and then he's going to transfer somewhere else to get more money.
Yeah, so he was a true senior this year. He is just redshirted, so he'll have a year next year, but just one left. And like we have no idea if it's true he was getting paid or not. We have no idea if he was actually getting paid by UNLV or not. But like the way I think of it is from a UNLV perspective, the dude only won like 100K is not a crazy amount of NIL. And if UNLV was able to make the college football playoff this year, regardless if they get blown on the first game, the money they would make by making the college football playoff, that 100K
exceeds.
They do that in a heartbeat. Give that kid 100K. Yeah. But what I was kind of also hearing is that I know UNLV, they're off to a hot start. I know this is their starting quarterback, but I don't think this quarterback, Skula, I don't think he was the reason UNLV's off to their hot start. I don't necessarily like if UNLV really valued him that much,
but not
they would have given him the 100K is where I'm getting at. If they really needed him that bad, they would have. And I'm going to assume UNLV had the means of giving the guy 100K and just chose not to. I'm going to like 100K is not. That isn't crazy. And if you're considering a playoff berth on the line, how much money they'd get from that, like if UNLV was that serious about this year, yeah, they would have given the dude 100K. But I am leaning on the side that it was a verbal agreement. UNLV wasn't paying him, but it is a verbal agreement, so I'm not putting UNLV at fault. Like it's not like they're bad people for not paying this kid out. Like there was no contract, so I'm not getting on UNLV, but I totally understand the player leaving if he's not getting his money. Like,
yeah, so
the odds are this dude's not going to the NFL. The odds are this year or next year would be his last year ever playing football, so you might as well get your money while you are.
Let's transition to how this affects the college landscape, because it's not the issue is namely not with UNLV. It sucks for UNLV. But at the end of the day, it's UNLV. It's UNLV. It doesn't matter. What matters is the precedent that it's going to set for other players, and the fact that, I guess, was it hours to a day after that it was announced that happened?
Yep.
You have Bear Alexander, somebody who's notorious for transferring to begin with, doing the same exact thing at USC. And I have a feeling, just by the way, before you get into that, they're not going to be the only ones. There's going to be, once teams start getting eliminated from contentions for things, you're going to see all these players just redshirt.
I'll take it a slight step further too as well. So let's just start with Bear first. Now, Bear Alexander, he has entered the portal after the first 4 games of the season, redshirting. I want to get to that in a second, but Bear Alexander, real quick, he is about to attend his 7th school in the past 8 years. So his freshman year of high school, he was at one school, transferred to a new one sophomore year, transferred to a new one junior year, and then classic IMG Academy transfer senior year, like 80% of the country. I'm not going to blame him for the IMG one. But 1 year at Georgia, and I think he got some rotation time. He was not a starter at Georgia and wasn't going to be. So I want to make that very clear. He was not talent-wise. He was not good enough to start at Georgia. I want to make that very clear. Then after that, he dipped, went to USC. USC has not gone the way Bear has planned. Bear, I believe, played 30% of snaps against Michigan last week. And if you watch the tape, in that third quarter, when Michigan had 9 total yards of offense before their long touchdown or long run at the end, they had 9 total yards of offense. Rewatching the tape, every single USC D lineman was not losing depth and was not getting pushed back. Who was the 1D tackle, push back 3+ yards every play? Bear Alexander. The 1D tackle that did not win in that second half was Bear Alexander. So Bear is leaving. It could be an NIL dispute. I have no idea. And based on some past with USC and Mario Williams, USC doesn't hold up to their verbal agreements on NIL payments either. They don't. So it could be NIL could 100% be a very large factor. Don't get me wrong. But for me, more importantly, like Bear wasn't even starting at USC. And according to the media, USC just got bullied around by Michigan like a little baby. So if Bear's not even good enough to start on USC's baby soft Charmin soft D line, then yikes, Bear Alexander might not be that good of a player, Everett. And if he's also going to be hopping from school to school, well, I don't necessarily want him in terms of team chemistry, locker room environment either.
I mean, 100%. Those guys tend to fizzle out and drop down from conference to conference to division, right? But I mean, the bigger issue is the image in which this presents itself, because you have this happening at UNLV, and subsequently right after that happens, you have Bear doing this. And my assumption is it's going to turn into a reoccurring issue across the nation. Because if, let's say in a hypothetical world, let's say that, Ole Miss is eliminated from contention for the SEC championship, and at late in the season is eliminated from making the playoffs. You're going to have guys doing this. Well,
the thing is,
if they haven't played in much time.
So this is the thing. It's very important to know. Well, this is also real quick. USC, they've only played 3 games this year.
Which is probably why Bear is able to do it. But
let's say on this. So what I think we're going to see moving forward, remember, players, you can play in 4 games in a season and not lose redshirt status. So if you have not redshirted, you are allowed to play in 4 games that season, and you don't burn your redshirt status. Also, very important to note, conference championship games and bowl games do not count towards your redshirt games. You can play in 4 regular season games, and then you could play in, let's say you run the table, you go 60-0, you win everything. You could play 4 regular season, and you could play in the conference championship and all 3 playoff games. You play in 8 games, and you're still redshirting that year. But it's very important to note, Bear did this right now, week 4 after week 4. USC, they've only played 3 games. If it were up to me, Bear Alexander went into this season saying, I'm going to get through the first 4 weeks. It ended up only being 3 games. So I'm going to get through the first 4 games. I'm going to see what my PT is. And if I'm not happy with what it is, then I'll redshirt the rest of the year, hit the portal dip. To me, that was his plan. And I think there's a lot of other players around the country who maybe didn't have that plan going into the season, but seeing Bear Alexander do it, they now do have that plan. And their agent is now in their ear being like, hey, are you happy right now? Are you? Because if not, let's redshirt. I've got coaches already calling me about you today. I can get you to Auburn or some, I don't know. I can get you somewhere better right now and more money. So I think some very interesting timing. Yes, especially for true freshmen, especially for brand new true freshmen, younger guys who you're not guaranteed a starting spot. those are the guys I'm looking at the most right now. And I'll put in Ohio State perspective terms. The one guy I'm looking at the most, like, ooh, I could see him dipping, is Air Noland. Air Noland's the second quarterback we took in this class. Julian Sand obviously transferred to Ohio State from Alabama after like a week on campus. We can pretty much count Sand as a high school recruit. But I don't necessarily see a path for Aaron Noland to get playing time at Ohio State with another quarterback already ahead of him on the depth chart in his class. And so very convenient timing yesterday, Everett. Aaron Noland just so happened to lose his black stripe yesterday with all this news coming out. And he's now an official member of the Ohio State football team. That was quite interesting timing.
It was wild to lose that.
Yeah, that was very interesting timing to me. And hey, I've heard from past coaches and stuff, like, at the end of the day, the black stripe thing, like, it's just a motivation thing. It's like,
how much though, like, as a fan, do you really care about Aaron Noland with considering you have Julian?
No, I don't. I'm not upset about it at all. But those are the type of players I'm looking at who would leave.
But I'm just saying, like, even if Aaron Noland, left,
as an Ohio State fan, I would not be mad. If anything, I'd be like, good for you. You should leave. Like, you're not going to get to play here. Like, I want you to succeed. Go.
Considering about 5 months ago, you're like, Aaron Noland, that's the future. That's our guy.
It's just I mean, I just didn't know we were going to get Sand, and Sand's crazy. I'll just have to be honest. But like, yeah, Aaron Noland, the talent is there. It is there. Like, if Miller Moss were to leave after this season, I hope Lincoln Riley calls up Aaron Noland. Like, yeah, I mean, that's just an example I was giving, though. But it's guys like that I'm looking at him. Like, I'm thinking of like an Edric Houston at Ohio State right now. Edric, like, I'm a little worried. Maybe he'd consider a Bama or a Georgia right now. Like, he's not. He's like fourth string DN right now at Ohio State. I mean, there is competition. He wasn't going to start, but I don't know. Maybe he's just upset he's not even third string. I don't know. I've got no idea. But I do think, though, a lot of these teams, they've only played 3 games. So I think next week, after these teams get through 4 games, you're going to see some guys entering the portal doing this redshirt thing that Bear Alexander's doing, the UNLV guys.
I think the timing on it too, though, it being before everybody else has that like last opportunity, is going to put the thought in a lot of people's minds. And there's a lot of time between when Bear did that and this last game, 4th game of the season, like in the week. So
yeah, there's definitely hundreds of college football players who weren't thinking this going into the year, and now this is an option. Like, oh. And so, I mean, how I'm thinking about it slightly, if I'm a coach moving forward, knowing that, like, hey, this is the power that players have over you in terms of being able to leave the team. Like, I have a feeling going forward in the future, especially for 5-star guys, I don't know if you can redshirt them anymore. There's obviously going to be a couple of guys who are buying into your program. They are willing to sit and develop.
I think that's different. I think you need to have red shirts in college athletics. Like, that's just something that you need to have.
I'm not saying get rid of red shirts, but like,
no. I'm saying even for, like, you can't not allow a 5-star whatever to do it. Like, it's just more so how the red shirt can be applied. Like, it has to be it can't be like a mid-season deal. You either start the season redshirt or you end the season redshirted. There is no mid-season, I'm now sitting in redshirting. If you get through the whole season and you end up not playing, then your red shirt gets applied, like how it typically is supposed to happen. Yeah. But
I'm just thinking, though, like, no, you are correct.
It shouldn't be mid-season. Like, also, I'm hitting the portal. Like, that shouldn't be. Yes.
I would, at this stage, this is a bad thing because you're giving kids false hope. But like, at this point, if I was a coach, like, I would not redshirt any of my players. I'd give them a false hope that you're third string on the depth chart when you're not. But I need to do this and say you're third string so you don't leave.
It's an ethical issue, but all right, let's move on to the NFL. Let's get into the NFL here. A lot of news in college football, a lot of news in the NFL, a lot of stuff going on. So,
well, real quick, there's just one game we got to talk about college football. It's potentially game of the year. the Georgia Bulldogs will go to Alabama this weekend and take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. When I first look at this game, I'm going to say Kirby, the storylines. Okay, I heard this. I believe this is the first time Alabama has been a underdog at home since Nick Saban took over. So Nick Saban took over in 2007. This is the first time since 2007, 17 years, that Alabama has been an underdog at home. Like Kirby Smart has an opportunity here, not to do the funniest thing ever, but to just set the standard moving forward. Kirby Smart has the opportunity here to cement himself as top dog in college football. If he can go into Alabama year one post Saban and just, he doesn't need to smack around DeBoer. He just needs to win the game. If you just walk into Alabama, win this game, then Kirby is the official
Not going to be an
king.
Easy task either, though.
No. Not going to be easy. And I think my matchup for this game to look at is the Alabama passing attack and the Georgia passing attack. I think both of these teams defensively are going to match up very well in the run game against each team. I think Georgia's front seven, especially, and I think Michael Williams will be healthy for the game. Georgia, I expect, will get after Jalen Milroe, although I believe Proctor is back, and Alabama's interior O-line is the best in the country, in my opinion. But also, on the other side, Georgia, their interior linemen are very good, and I believe Tate Ratledge will be out for this game, who is their guard. But Georgia's tackles do not look great. They are missing Amarius Mims badly. They need help at tackle. And I can see, although both teams have strong interior O-lines, the tackle problems can be an issue in this game, especially with the passing game. Like Beck and Milroe might be getting destroyed back there all game. But I think what I want to look at is the weapons on both sides. So Alabama, I believe they have the best receiver in this game in Ryan Williams, true freshman. He's
Georgia's
17 years old.
receivers are just not up to par this year.
Yeah,
so
Georgia's receivers are non-existent, and also their transfer from Vanderbilt, London Humphreys, will not be playing in this game. Everett. Why? Because he has a case of mono. He's having a little bit too much fun going from Vandy to Georgia.
Right, Sam Darnold.
So yeah, he's pulling a Darnold. Landon Humphreys will not be in this game. That is a big time blow for the Georgia passing offense, not having him for this. So I don't feel necessarily confident in picking a side here. But I think the unders, there's just the safe play considering the lack of offensive explosion on both sides. And the defense is, both sides are littered with NFL five stars all over.
Give a winner prediction. Let's move into the NFL.
I would still just go with the Georgia Bulldogs off of coaching, but I wouldn't say the coaching edge is that much greater for Georgia than the Kalen DeBoer Bama staff. I'm gonna pick Georgia, but
that's a pretty. I feel like it's a pretty big statement saying that.
I would say DeBoer, like, this is how I think. Like the Georgia offense, their OC Bobo, I feel like Bobo's needs dudes to perform well. Like last year, he had a Brock Bowers and a Ladidi McConkey. I think that's what we're calling him now. So he had weapons. He had guys, and he's had running backs for the past couple seasons. But when he doesn't have all those weapons, I don't necessarily think he can just scheme up offenses that are explosive. I think he needs the personnel. But Kalen DeBoer, I believe, regardless of who the talent is, who his players are, I believe Kalen DeBoer will still find a way to score.
I would agree with that. I think that's the kind of way that this Alabama team is running right now.
Yeah, so I'd say I'm scared of the post Nick Saban. It's not a Saban Alabama. So I'm going to pick Georgia, but Georgia's only a 2-point favorite for a reason. Okay, like Vegas isn't expecting a blowout or anything. Like this is going to be a tight game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, but
I could see like a 24-21 classic.
ESPN Classic, where they took out an NCAA 24. I don't know why they did that. But anyways, Okay, yeah. Grant, let's move to the NFL. We'll wrap it with this. We'll make it a relatively quick segment here. But last week, for all those not keeping track, I went 8-7. Grant.
Oh, I thought you were much better than 8-7.
No,
okay, this is a doable comeback.
Okay, that's why I said I'm below.
I thought it was way more.
No, I'm below my average right now.
Okay. All right, I went 5-10 last week. 33%. I'll be honest though. If you've just been fading me all year, you would be over 60% picking. So in a sense, I'm doing my job still. You just need to catch me
picks.
Those flips.
That's why we have fade my picks. That's why
you just need to catch me when it flips, because there will be a point in the year where Everett and I just start learning these teams and we will pick better. But
you pick better, I pick worse.
True. The Waterboy people are going to have to determine when I start picking up on the ball. Yeah. You guys have to pick that out, not me.
But Grant, as the ceremonial loser last week,
I am 12-19 overall this year. Coming off a 33% week. That may have been my worst week ever.
I am 15 and probably had a worse one right now, I believe. 15 and 16.
That should yes, you should be. Yeah, you're 3 games up on me. I'm chasing 3 games, just like
still below 500, but
okay. We'll go over the games first. Thursday night football, Cowboys at Giants, which I feel like is typically the first Sunday night football every year, and it happens to not be this year. But Thursday night football, Cowboys G-Men, Saints at Falcons, a little bit of a division game. Rams at Bears, Vikings at Packers, game of the week. Steelers at Colts, Broncos at Jets, Eagles at Bucks, Bengals at Panthers, Jags at Texans. Afternoon slate. Commanders at Cardinals, Patriots at Niners, which I'll say something about that later. Browns at Raiders, Chiefs at Chargers, Bills at Ravens, Titans at Dolphins, and Seahawks at Lions for your doubleheader on Sunday night. But I'll go with my picks first. I'll just say picks. Okay. Cowboys, Falcons, but I hate that. That one's a pick 'em. Rams, Packers, Steelers, which I hate. I'm doing it though. Jets, Bucks, Bengals, Texans, and then all home teams from here on out. Cardinals, Niners, Raiders, Chargers, Ravens. I'm picking Titans.
So Lions. Not all home teams the rest of the way.
Yeah. Well, Hard Rock isn't a home. Hard Rock isn't a home fielded stadium. There's no home field advantage at Hard Rock.
Oh. I can't tell if you're like joking or you're.
No. I'm being dead serious. There is no.
The Dolphins have one of the biggest home field advantages in the entire league.
Well, that's gonna be Monday night. It's gonna be night game. They're not gonna have the sun on the sideline.
All right, fair point. Okay.
But if it was at 10 a.m. or 1 p.m. Miami, then Will Levis would be passing out on the sideline.
I just have high faith in the. It's going to get to my pick, but high faith in the Dolphins' defense, and also I think Tyler Huntley's going to start. So,
I do too.
But Cowboys, Falcons, Rams, Vikings. Fuck you, by the way. Colts, Jets, Bucks, Bengals, Texans, vibe game of the week. Can't go wrong either way. I would say tie.
But, you can't go wrong anyway.
Commanders, we're not doing ties here. Commanders, Niners, Browns, Chiefs, Bills, Finns, and Lions.
Yeah, so you get a free win over me with Chiefs Chargers this week. The NFL.
True, unless if it was in Kansas City, then the Chargers always find a way to beat them in Kansas City. So
I'll be honest. Justin Herbert, I believe, is 3-1 in his career in Arrowhead.
Yeah, you want to talk about
putting that out there.
Burrowhead? No, it's Herbie Head.
No, it's Herbie Head.
Herbie Head.
Herbo Head. We got to do the arrow, something with the arrow.
Herbo Head.
Yeah, Herbo. He's called that. Works kind of. But yeah, no, that's a free win. If the game wasn't already guaranteed to be a Chiefs win with Slater and Joe Alt out, well, the NFL confirmed it because Derwin James will be out for this game. If anyone has paid attention to Chargers Chiefs specifically over the past few seasons. Derwin James happens to be quite physical with a player on the Chiefs known by Travis Kelce, kind of a popular guy. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of him. But Derwin James has a tendency to defend Kelce a little tough, and he likes to get physical with Kelce. And yeah, I mean, I want everyone right now look up Derwin James, Travis Kelce, like pile driver suplex, okay? And like 2 years ago, Derwin James like literally hit a WWE suplex on Travis Kelce. Yeah, Rodgers not going to let that happen. No. Rodgers not going to let Derwin James hit Travis Kelce. No. They can't let Kelce get hurt. I truly believe if there's one safety in the NFL that like Kelce has openly said like, yeah, like I'm not trying to hit him, it is Derwin. Like he does not like facing Derwin. And yeah, you can't act like they're hiding it. Derwin happens to get suspended just for one game for this game. And the hit that they cited as a reason to kick him out, it was a helmet to helmet, sure, but like that wasn't a egregious helmet to helmet. Like that was just like a football tackle. Like he did ear hole him, yes, but like that happens on many, many running plays, like every single play. But that one is just wide out in the open in the secondary, so everyone saw it in clear plain sight. But yeah, no, that is a Chiefs lock. -7, take an alt line -14. All right, make yourself some money.
I see what
folks.
you did
there. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best at a jinx. It won't work. Chiefs are going easy.
Okay, well, let's just we need to look at the 5 game of the week.
And Commanders Cardinals real quick. I don't think we gave enough credit last week, but Jaden Daniels is excellent. Jaden Daniels is
92.3% completion percentage or something like that. Rookie record.
Rookie single game record for completion percent. He also hit 2 deep ball, perfect, right in the breadbasket. Jaden Daniels has like a unique ability to throw and run. Like he's a game changer back there. Like he is a guy that, watch out, with the ball in his hands, he can make something out of nothing. But this is what I'll say about Commanders though. Commanders offense, I feel great about. They're cooking. They look nice. I'm still very concerned about that defense. That Commanders defense is not necessarily world beaters themselves. I would say though, overall outlook, season outlook, before we get to vibes. If you're telling me right now, Commanders NFC East, they can win the division, I'm not that shocked if that ended up happening. Just how I'm going to be honest,
it's not even that I am not shocked. Like it's not that I'm shocked at all. Like I'm not shocked.
I still wouldn't pick the Commanders to win their division, but like,
well, we know the Cowboys aren't. So the Cowboys can't. So it has to either be the Eagles, Commanders, or the Giants. Giants, if you said the Giants were winning it, I would be shocked.
I'd be shocked still.
But between the Commanders and the Eagles, honestly, if they played right now, well, the Eagles' receiving core is dead. So if they played when everybody was healthy, Commanders still might win that.
Yeah.
After last week, we're going innately biased, recency bias ordeal here. But I want to focus more on the actual game, Grant, and the future of the Commanders.
Yeah.
So they're big factors here. Okay. Both are vibe. We got the buses running. All right. The bus is running right now. And we got the Commanders. Don't really know what we want to call it. The Commanders don't have a bus, but something's cooking up over there.
Wait, Commanders, let me think. Is there any type of military term we could use for them? So the
convoy?
Bus, like
the Commanders convoy is rolling.
We can do that.
But here the biggest thing is going to be Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury. All right, two-part revenge game. But this is why I'm thinking more Cliff than I am Kyler. All right. It's a bigger revenge game for Cliff than it is for Kyler because Cliff has been out of the league since he got fired. And
Was Gannon his direct replacement, or was there someone?
Gannon was direct. They had an interim guy.
I hope that's true. So that's even more.
But
okay, yeah, but yes.
But he's returning to Arizona. It's not Kyler's coming out. This is him back in Arizona and Kyler.
Yeah, right? I would say the Kyler revenge stories aren't quite there, I'd say.
The intellectual argument is more so about the fact that, Kyler knows the way that Cliff likes running offense. Cliff knows every aspect about how Kyler Murray throws, the way that he plays, the way that he makes plays. And you're just going to be like, Dan Quinn, this is what he's going to do. So let's...
Yeah. I believe that Cliff has a much easier time of helping out his defense being Kyler's coach than Kyler does helping the Cardinals. Kyler is not going to help the Cardinals defense at all defend Cliff. No. Kyler is probably worried about the Call of Duty pre-order coming.
Now I do know. Look, the Cardinals defense looked better than the Commanders defense, except this last week. Commanders defense did a pretty damn good job against the Bengals with T. Higgins being back and whatnot. So I think that's a 50-50. I don't think you can really go wrong with a pick, but I do think the Commanders have a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I would say both these offenses are very electric, very dynamic, very fun. This is going to be a fun game to watch regardless. I think I just slightly trust Arizona. I don't think Arizona's defense is good. I don't even think they're average in the NFL. I want to make that clear. But I just give him a slight edge over, if Sam still has to play outside corner. Oh my God, Marv is about to go off on Michigan boy. So we'll see. I don't know how the Commanders' injuries are looking, and if Sam still will have to play outside again. But also I think Trey McBride may be out.
I haven't seen that.
I've heard something about Trey McBride. Let me just quickly check. I'm seeing concussion. I didn't hear this. He is in as of yesterday, he was sitting out in concussion protocol. No McBride can change us a lot. I'm not changing the pick. I'm a man, but yeah, if McBride is out, you're bracketing Marv all game. Take him away. There's what you think Greg Dortch is going to get open over the middle? Yeah, no.
Hey! Don't disrespect Greg Dortch like that. Michael Wilson's going to do it. Okay, he'll get in there.
I would disrespect the both of them till the end of time, and I will continue doing so every opportunity I have.
Let's do one more game of the week, and we'll wrap up. Vikings Packers. Grant, tell me why you picked Packers.
I'm sorry. We also got to do Bills Ravens too. We got to break that down.
Let's do that. Vikings Packers. Let's do Bills Ravens. Do it quick and with Vikings Packers. Right. Let's just get through this quickly.
Okay. Bills Ravens. This is not how you should be picking games, but I can't see the Ravens being 1-3 to start the year. I just refuse to believe it. And I know you should not. That should not be how you pick these at all. That should have zero influence on these games. But I can't. Let's talk about the game itself, though. The Bills have shown me this year that game script doesn't matter. They can play from behind. They can play with a lead. The Bills look like a team that could win in many different ways. The Ravens, though, I feel better about them than in past years to come back down from a lead, but I feel like this season, the Ravens, they really need the game to be going their way and playing the game on their terms, or else it's going to be tough for them to come back in games. So, I see the path for the Bills to win, go get a lead early. I believe Josh Allen has scored a touchdown on the opening drive in his last 9 games. So you can kind of pencil it in. Buffalo scoring a touchdown the first drive of the game. But I just Ravens at home Sunday Night Football. Give me Baltimore.
Fair point. Okay, let's wrap up with Vikings Packers real quick. We'll make it quick. Just tell me why you chose Packers over Vikings. This game's so close to me. I don't necessarily give either team a coaching edge at all.
if I were to give a coaching edge, I'd actually give it to Brian Flores specifically on the Vikings side. Like LaFleur versus KOC. I don't really know how much.
I also just want to say real quick, KOC drew up a defensive play call in the locker room at halftime in the Giants game, which they then used versus the Giants and sacked Daniel Jones. Just saying.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Like a stunt up front for
a blitz.
All right, I respect that. That's not easy to do. Drawing up stunts, so that's not easy to do. Not gonna lie.
I just want to say.
The way I think about this game, though, I'm just thinking divisional opponents. And if we were to go into the year, Vikings, Packers, how do I think it's going to end the year? I'd say they split. And
I say they split, but
away wins, you think?
The thing with the Vikings and the Packers is specifically
kind of throw everything out there. Hey, God damn it. I forgot about my old rule. Divisional opponents throw everything out the window. Damn it, Grant. We've been over this so many times. Divisional opponents throw everything out the window.
The one thing that I will say,
forgot the number one rule.
Specifically with the Vikings and the Packers, them specifically, not the Lions, not the Bears, none of those games. Vikings and Packers, there's no home field advantage. If the Packers come to Minnesota, it doesn't matter. Vikings go to Green Bay,
Soldier
it doesn't matter.
Field,
home field advantage has zero impact because of proximity. Okay, one's outside, one's inside, but it don't fucking matter. It does matter if the Vikings choose to wear the wrong kind of cleats, which is happening.
So if anything, this season, like I trust the Vikings or Packers to win a weather game outside. The Bears can't block for shit.
I will say, last year, I know it was Kirk Cousins. The Vikings torched the living shit out of this basically exact same Green Bay team in Green Bay.
If there's another thing that makes me
they would have beaten them in Minneapolis should Kirk have been playing instead of.
I've got another factor that may help. I don't have numbers on this, but as a man who Jeff Hafley used to be my defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley is known for a lot of cover one, a lot of cover three, one high safety looks, and he loves cover one man he loves cover one man. This year, of course, we're seeing the whole NFL two high safety looks. That's what everyone's been talking about. If Jeff Hafley decides to be himself and is running cover one, and he's letting Justin Jefferson line up outside in cover one, oh yikes! You may scorch the Packers defense.
I do also
Jeff
just want to say,
can't adjust from his ways.
One other thing with Kirk Cousins, the offense was stagnant in the fact that it was very cut and dry. Like, we had a couple fun plays, whatever, but Kirk Cousins, you wouldn't see him. You wouldn't be doing trick plays. You wouldn't be doing all of these stuff. With Sam Darnold,
fair.
KOC's been running, like, has had literally a trick play every game. Like, we had a halfback pass, we had a double screen. We've had all these things that we've been running with the Sam Darnold offense. So I think this offense is different than what we've used. I'm assuming we've used with the Packers before. And I think, especially because of that, I think I like the Vikings offense even more this game than I would another game. And Jair Alexander is going to be burnt toast unless they triple team Justin Jefferson, which happened last year when Nick Mullins was quarterback. So, by the way, I don't want to hear anything about that. But
yeah, I just want to point out, if they run cover one a lot, like Jeff Hafley has done historically in the past, or cover three a lot, yeah, just Jay Jettas might go for 9, 180 and 2. Jeff Hafley's going to need a new game plan for this one.
Yeah. And I mean, the last thing, Aaron Jones revenge game, Lambeau Leap. So, I mean,
that's the most important factor for me.
It's happening. And it's also Mike Pettine is the assistant to the head coach for the Vikings, former Green Bay Packers coach. So just saying. But obviously different generation.
Do we know of any KOC LaFleur beef when they were coaching together in Washington? Or because I heard recently that the reason Washington all broke up was that LaFleur had beef with Kyle Shanahan, and they didn't agree. Apparently what happened was that Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan wanted to trade RG3 after his first rookie year. And
that was what Florio said this last week was that RG3, well, they had Kirk Cousins come in because there was originally an issue when they drafting them because half wanted this, half wanted that, right? Kirk Cousins come in and plays really well, and RG3 was injured, and they were like, RG3 is not the guy we thought he was. Like, let's get rid of him now. His value's at an all-time high, and they didn't, and that led to So, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up here. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, Twitter, and on Instagram at WaterboyPod. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett Takes and at WaterboyGrant. Post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms, so make sure to subscribe. You don't miss a single episode. We also post new content every week on Instagram and on TikTok, so check us out there. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.